Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. With this lecture, we continue with our detailed analysis of economic surveys series, and we continue with chapter number 15, that is urbanization, making India's cities work for its citizens. Now, before we go into the detailed analysis of this chapter, of course, we will look at the important terms and definitions mentioned in the chapter. Now, in this chapter, there are certain words. In fact, I have added a couple from my end as well. So, for example, the floor space index is mentioned in the economic survey, but the related concept is the carpet area, built up area, super built up area, which has been added over here. So let us first look at what is the carpet area. Now let me tell you, this is with respect to the construction of the building, or let's say a house, let's say a residential area, or any kind of area for that matter. So you might see that your house has some plan like this, right? So you will have, let's say, the drawing room over here, and then another bedroom over here, then you may have kitchen over here, then you will have let's say washroom, etc. here. So like this, you get the point that the entire rooms are constructed like this. Now, what is this carpet area? So this carpet area basically is that area on which you can put a carpet, as simple as that. So where can you put a carpet? Over here. This red line indicates the wall. So can you put a carpet on now wall is also thick, it also covers the area. So can you put a carpet on the wall? No, you cannot. You can put a carpet within this. This is where you can basically put the carpet. Is that correct? So the area where you can put the carpet is the carpet area, and you cannot put the carpet on the walls. That means the carpet area basically excludes the walls that are there. This is the concept of carpet area, which does not include the area of the walls. Now, what is the built up area? Now, in built up area, what will happen is this entire also will be included. So it will also include this wall that you can see, which are thick walls. All those things will be included in the built up area. Then what is a super built up area? So if you have to understand the super built up area, see, let's say you are living in a flat and this is your flat. There will be someone else's flat over here, and there will be a common area over here. So in the super built up area, even the common area will be included. So super built up area equals built up area plus the common area. So let us form an equation. So you have super built up area equals built up area plus the common area, right? At the same time, you have seen that the built up area equals what? It equals the carpet area plus the area of walls, right? So this is the relationship that you should know. Hence, you can also say the super built up area is the carpet area plus the area of wall plus the common area, or you can simply say is the built up area plus the common area, and the built up area is what? Carpet area plus area of walls. So these are the concept with respect to building of an area or a room or a flat, etc. Now let's understand what is this floor space index. Now the economic survey has actually focused on this particular concept of floor space index. Let us understand what this is. So let's say you have a plot of around 2,500 square feet. Now, if in that area, if for your plot the floor space index is 1, that means you can have a construction on an area equivalent to this. That means it gets multiplied by this. So you can have a construction of maximum of 2500 square feet only. Of course, you will not build it on completely over here, but you will be building by leaving some space over here, and on top of it you will build some more, so that the total is 2500 square feet. Now, if the floor space index, if the floor space index would have been 2, then you multiply this by 2, so you get a total of 5000 square feet. That means you can, on a plot of 2500 square feet, you can construct up to 5000 square feet. That means more number of floors you can construct and your construction can be more. So that is the concept of the floor space index. Now, the economic survey argues saying that the floor space index around the world is quite high than the floor space index that is present in India, as a result of which the development is a bit less, right? The development becomes costly, the land will be less because you cannot build more on the same land, as a result of which there is a need for India to increase its floor space index, is what the economic survey has argued. Hope that's clear. Let's move ahead. Now, this is the classification of cities with different population. You should be remembering at least to some extent, to the extent that if you look at in the prelims, you should be able to identify. And this was very important to put forward in front of you, because without knowing it, if I tell you or ask you what is tier 1 cities, a lot of students may say a city which with over a million lakh of population or things like that, but that is not the case. The population limit is actually still quite low when it comes to the cities. However, still you will find that there is a concept of hidden cities in India. That means areas which should have been classified by as cities but are not, because of the rigid definition of the city. So we'll see what that rigid part of the definition is later on. So right now the economic survey gives a classification with respect to tier 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6. So tier 1, that is 1 lakh and above. This is tier 1 city. That's the size of population. So of course, cities like Bengaluru, Mumbai, of course, they are way beyond 1 lakh population. Then you have tier 2, 50,000 to 99,999. And then you have the tier 3. You can also remember tier 6 is less than 5,000 is basically the tier 6 cities. Let's move ahead. This is the evolution of the rural and urban population is what they have talked about. Population in crores. So if you look at the population in crores, this is rural. So this is rural population in crore. In 1901, around about 20 crores, which has now increased to being over 80 crores. Whereas the urban population here was less than 5 crore, quite less. But however, here now if you look at it, 80 to 120, so 40, so this is around about 40 crores of urban population that is present. So this graph shows that the percentage share of urban population has kept on increasing in the share of the total population. That is what the graph shows. At the same time, the percentage share of the rural population in total population has sort of gone down, and this is percentage of population living in the urban areas, which you can see has consistently gone up, and we are at more than 30% as of 2011. In fact, as of 2025, certain reports suggest that the percentage is up to 36% probably. Right. Next is the urban population India versus LMIC and LIC. This is low middle income countries and low income countries. So we are comparing our urbanization with them. So if you look at the urbanization, India's urbanization depicted in purple was higher than the low income countries, but has gone down and is lower than the low income countries. We are definitely lower than the low middle income country. We have been since 1976, but we are now lower than the low income countries also. Right? So this is the reality. However, the thing is, it depends how you define urbanization. India's definition of urbanization is quite rigid. So now a very interesting graph or picture is going to come in front of you, which will showcase. See, it says that we are lesser than low income countries, but if our cities would have been defined by the definition used by other countries, then our percentage of urbanization would have been way higher. That is what the economic survey will try to prove. This is that histogram. So if as per our statutory definition, this is urbanization in India. As per the census, so there are two, one is the statutory and one is the census town definition. According to the census town definition 2011, we just saw that the urbanization is to 31%. But if you look at Ghana's definition, then in that case our urbanization becomes 47%. If you look at Mexico's definition, then our urbanization becomes 65%. So that is why just the percentage which was shown here may not make much sense if you do not look at it in context. I hope that is clear. But at the same time, we should also take this also with a pinch of salt, because again, the economic survey would have also identified the definitions of certain countries which makes India's percentage go drastically high, which is quite visible over here. One, because here the population 5,000 plus, 2,500 plus, wherein they are forgetting the definition with respect to the employment generation. So generally in the rural area, it's the primary sector which employs majority of the people. That definition also has to be kept in mind, which they have disregarded. But anyhow, it makes sense that yes, we are lower in urbanization with respect to low income countries, but not necessarily too low, because our definition is quite rigid. So we could take multiple definitions and come up with a weighted graph that would have been better, but then that would have not shown such a drastic increase. So you know, it's a government document at the end of the day, but we as an aspirant should know we will be writing our answers more comprehensively. Now let us understand, but there is no doubt that there is a concept of hidden urbanization in India. Hidden urbanization concept is there in India. What is the hidden urbanization concept? See, the idea is, one of the criteria for an area to be called as an urban area, as per our own criteria, the census criteria, is the fact that minimum 75% plus, or minimum 75% of the male population should be engaged in non-agricultural activity. Now this is one thing which gives the number quite low, because there will be areas wherein this percentage is 74, 73, 72, 70, 65. This is still high, but still those area will not be considered as urban area because of the strict or the rigid definition which is present, as a result of which a lot of areas are urban, are having features of urban areas but still not classified as urban areas, and that is the concept of hidden urbanization. Now what issues will come out of this? Simply that whenever the schemes for the urban areas are coming, these areas will be devoid of such schemes because they are not classified as the urban area, right? So we need to improve on that regard. Next is, as I mentioned to you about the floor space index across the cities. So here you have Indian cities, Thane, that's the part of Mumbai basically, Pune, Mumbai. Now what's difference between Thane and Mumbai? In fact, the first train, it ran from Mumbai to Thane. See, Thane is basically on the outskirts, or you can say on the suburb side, on the outskirts of Mumbai as such, and not in the heart of Mumbai. Same is the case with Navi Mumbai. It's nothing but at the periphery of Mumbai. That's the urban sprawl that is happening. Urban sprawl means this is a region, its density of population increases and gets saturated, so people will sprawl out of the city and new areas, urban areas would be created. That is the idea here. Let's move ahead. Then you have Pune, Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Chennai, Kolkata, Delhi, Bangalore. All these are Indian cities. You can see that the floor space index is quite low. Whereas if you look at the top cities of the world, Sao Paulo, Shanghai, Vancouver, New York, Denver, Tokyo, Singapore, and all, the floor space index is actually quite high. In fact, here it is as high as 25. That means if it's a 2,500 square feet plot, they can construct up to 25,000 into 25. So this is going to be 62,500 square feet of construction can take place. Basically, this consists of amazing high-rise buildings that will be there. Now in Mumbai also there are high-rise buildings, but then the area needed is quite high, in the sense that you will have to have a very big area, and then here is a high-rise building which can go very high. That is the whole idea of it. Whereas over there you have this much, so you can still go quite high because of the high floor space index. So in India, there will be huge area that would be underutilized, is what is argued with this graph. So there is a need to relook at the floor space index and sort of increase it, but of course keeping in mind the safety measures as well. All right, let's move ahead. Next is the progress of garbage free city framework. So GFC is basically garbage free cities, star rated cities which get one time certification. So you have 1 star, 3, 5 and 7 stars. So in 2021 you can see there is no 7 star, not here, but in 2024 there are 12 7 stars, whereas the 5-star numbers have also basically increased. The 3-star numbers have also increased, and the 1-star number has increased considerably. So the number of cities which are garbage free is increasing as we speak. And then the last thing, now the economic survey's visual was not quite good, in the sense it was pixelated when I took a screenshot. So here is a newspaper's cutting that is there, which is exactly the same. Economic survey has referred to exactly the same survey only, which is the survey of the civic sense. So it shows that which state has the highest civic sense and which has the lowest. So according to this survey, which is mentioned in the economic survey, Kerala is having the highest civic sense. Uttar Pradesh, on the other hand, has the lowest. After Kerala, there is Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Maharashtra, Odisha, so on and so forth. And here you have Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Karnataka, Andhra, Assam, so on and so forth. This is the civic sense survey that was conducted, in which questions were asked to the people and their response were taken. For example, people were asked that is it okay to throw the garbage or litter the garbage in the open? So 96% people from Kerala said that it is not at all okay to throw the garbage or litter the garbage, whereas only around 43% people, 96% people said that it is not okay. That means only 4% people were saying it is okay. That was the situation of Kerala. But if you look at Punjab, in Punjab, around 43% people were saying that it is okay to throw the garbage or litter the garbage in the open area. So the questions were asked and the response was taken from the public. So this is a survey which becomes actually subjective. However, the people of that region is being asked, so there can be certain subjectivity and all that, but considering or eliminating them or disregarding them, this is the data that has come out, that Kerala tops the civic sense, whereas Uttar Pradesh is at the bottom. You can sort of remember the top 3 and you can remember the bottom 3 as well. So that's about it in this chapter. Stay tuned with Legacy IAS Academy. We are coming to an end of our detailed analysis of economic survey. If you have any doubts, please ask us, and subscribe to Legacy IAS Academy in order to get notification of all the videos that we post. Thank you.